Okay, let me now start it this way. What is really in this life that many a times we tend to struggle all through and eventually we still buy and live? What is in this life that sometimes it happens as if you were not part of some certain period in time? You'll be wondering if later you realize that you just moved along, just like those in the universities. Some just went through the university and didn't allow the university to pass through them. They just like they they just passed through without feeling it the way it's supposed to be done, and then all the after they went after all that the experience was just that kind of stuff. But that is not the area I'm going. What I'm talking about here is that there is nothing as painful as missed opportunity or missed opportunities. And sometimes, if you are in some type of circle of friends, circle of influence, if that your circle of influence is not exposed, you too will be busy, you know, struggling, doing whatever you think that is the right thing at that time. Why am I saying all these things? I went through some of my papers, some of them like this, and when I look at the date, it was like, what happened? These are, some ID cards, and the rest of it. Anyway, I was just going through them, and I come across this also. This was the conference we attended, the first of its kind. That is the Association of Information Marketers of Nigeria. Back then, date was Thursday, 6th May 2010. It was held at Oromiyo Hall, Lagos Airport Hotel, Ikeja. I still remember vividly that day we went there. Still remember vividly. For you to know that, not be today, man start to the hustle. That was aside from other things. But why going through this? I was just looking at some of the things that we held in awe back then. Some of the things that we thought of or we looked at, this is the end of it all. After this, nothing again. 2010 till date. That is a good, just about 15 years ago. 2010 till 2025. That is 15 years ago. What actually has happened? Took my time to go through this. And I was just wondering what it was that our mind was like, hey, this is it. If you are not part of this, you are not that. This was the then Dr. Sani Obazu Ujabese. That is the complete sports chairman back then. My mind was going through something. And that thing has kept haunting me. I used to ask myself this very question. I said, where was I? 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Where was I? I was wondering where I can't dey, where I can't stay, what I can't do. Because those people here who served as various posts here, we have Dr. Sonny Obazo Jabese, Akin Alabi, First National Vice President, Sonny Akindikbe, Reverend Dr. Ebee Wambawene, I think is from Ghana, Princess F.A. Miriam, you just name them. I still remember Ronald Nzimora, Assistant Secretary General, Bola Boke, Financial Secretary, and Mrs. Janet Awo, Treasurer. So all these things, those days was just like, if you are not part of this, in fact, you are not there. But the question still remains, what happened after? You recall that in all the things I mentioned here, and look at one thing again that you also prick your intention or imagination. Say, after that is when you make a payment. The first, how to become a member of Attestation of Information Marketers. First step, we purchase form, non-refundable, 2,500 naira from secretary. Fill the form with the renewal registration fee of 10,000 and two passport photographs. After you make a payment to the Guaranteed Trust Bank account, Association of Information Marketers Nigeria. And those days, you just recall that those were the early days of the internet here in Nigeria. Much have not been talked about, much kind of, What we know today is like the days of Noah when you compare it. So, you never even remember what is disturbing me on this. Now, look at this. Look at this. Within that same period, this is a, this is vehicle document. This vehicle document. Just look at 2000, okay, good. Receipt of payment dated 28th February 2012. February 2012. What happened? Sorry about that. So the date was 28th February 2012. And this receipt was for the payment of this is the payment for a vehicle, Space Wagon 2012. The amount, can you guess? 2012 Space Wagon, clean one. The price was 790,000 naira back then, 2012. How many years? About 13 or how many years ago? So, while looking through this, I still recall that vehicle now is no longer in existence. It has become scrap. In fact, I even learned that the vehicle got into serious challenges, even with the buyer, because the person that bought it still wanted to sell it to another person. But that is not my concern here. My concern here is that the price was very cheap. Very, very cheap. 790,000 naira, 2012. That if you have such amount by then. And so it is. Now the question is this. Sorry, this video may be long or I cannot. Let's just take it that way. My concern and question has been, where was I, or where were most of people when things like Bitcoin started? Because in the days, during this period now, Bitcoin of those days, if you have just 1,000 naira, if care is not careful, if care is not taken, back then in 2009, 2010, if you have just 1,000 naira, you can get up to 50 units of Bitcoin, BTC. And fast forward to 2012 or 2013, as the case may be, that this person used, let me say, just this is a 790,000 naira, yes, for the Space Wagon purchased. But the person just used either 50,000 naira and got Bitcoin in 2012. What do you think? Well, that is just reason. Just think. What do you think his status will be today? Just 50,000 naira back then, 2012. Just use it to buy Bitcoin. But because your level of influence is what it is. What you don't know is what you don't know. I must tell you that mistakes do happen, but let it not be mistake because during that period, people had actually lived their life and then they got involved with what was raining. But my pains is that during that same period, things like innovations like BTC was happening, was actually in vogue. But many people don't know. It was just very few a kind of. But thereafter, what happened? Even when it goes to $1,000 per one, even when it gets to that very, even as that, with your 1,000 naira, you can still get good fraction that will make and do too much talk. But anyway, let's not fight or kill ourselves over spilled milk, so to say. Today, we still have most of those digital currencies here and there. We still have the ones that we can, as it is today, Bitcoin is about 100 and over $100,000 per one. Where do you have 100,000 to put in Bitcoin? It's running millions of naira. But there's always another chance. And that another chance is what we are seeing on daily basis. Even this same Bitcoin, many people are still overlooking it today. It's not only Bitcoin. We have Ethereum, we have we have so many other cryptocurrencies that are doing equally well today. We have some that are just coming up that are already showing signs of good tomorrow. But the problem is that we are not always willing to wait. We want it now or never. And then we put money probably into something today. Highest we look for next month. The money is not coming. But when you see the possibilities in the crypto space, you will marvel. In the sense that you will, like for instance, if one buys this new token on time. There are many, but let me just emphasize on one. This feed the world token. Okay? With, let me say, with $1,000, you can back more than a million token of that feed the world token. As it stands today, supposing that token just move little, let's say 0.000 something. Or let's just he move a little bit to 0.001, 002, 005. And that may happen within a space of months. But people will never look at it that way. They want something that they will just start today and tomorrow they are in profits. But the way the crypto space behaves, keeps people wondering whether this is a worthy venture. But that is just a normal. Even life itself, life is up and down, it goes up and down. So if you want to get involved into something that you will not stay tomorrow and start crying if I had known, because it keep on happening. Even after the advent of Bitcoin back then in 2009, 2010, and coming to 215 or thereabout, there have been others making people, for them to have something substantial, for them to even retire early. It's true that it's not about money, but when you have money, when you invest in something that actually gives you peace of mind as you age, there's always a different thing that happens to you. Most of the ailments, because many sicknesses, we are a result of thinking, how do I do this, how do I do that? But we are still living in a world whereby not everything is gone. But at least when you have your bank account, your bank account has a lot to do with your BP. If you are not the type that goes about putting hands into many things, if you are contented with what you have, but you can be contented with that little. That little, I say that, take for instance, you come into this FW token, feed the world token, for instance, and you just put, let me say, about $500, or even let me just say $100, and then that $100 that you leave there, You ignored it for a period of a year or two or even 3 years. Do you know that that's your $500 eh, can become hundreds of thousands of dollars? Just $500. If you're able to just put it there. This one is not, you are not giving it water, you are not putting anything special so that this thing will be there. No. What about you? Even you are capable of putting something like $1,000 and leave it for the same period of time. What do you think will happen? That is, you'll be counting on millions. I mean, you'll be counting on millions because what will happen, supposing that this thing that is now 0.00 something, and then within that period of time to come, it hits something like 0.05, 0.00. What happened even if he hits just $1, just $1? Remember, all you got was around a million token with just your $1,000. Now, what happened by the time you leave it up to 2, 3 years and the thing goes to just $1 per one? Now, multiply that $1 times how many about that million? You become a millionaire in dollars. So, the reason why people are not getting things today is because they want it quick. Remember, when I was going through all these things, I was just thinking, supposing we know, or had I known, or the person who did this know, 790,000 naira, he bought a car, a liability that didn't even serve for anything. Or those days that we were busy, fighting. Did I say fighting? Sorry for using that word. We were busy, struggling, information marketers, all this and that. What if we had put just 1,000 naira, 1,000, 1,000? I'm not talking about 1,000, just 1,000 naira in Bitcoin. I know by now you might have spent some, but there's no how you will spend 50 Bitcoin from 2010 till date. So the question still remains, and so what? The answer is that there's still opportunity till tomorrow. But the current one now is that this Feed the World token has the possibility of doing so many things. It's still under, I'm showing the prices here now. But it can become something tomorrow. So the little you're putting in today, stop looking at, hey, I put my money when it was 008 or 009, but now 005. Don't worry, that is how real project behaves. Up and down, up and down. And there are so many things surrounding this very token that people are yet to come into terms with. The app is coming. And when that app launches, so many other things follows through, which I will not be able to start analyzing here. But I'm just giving you a glimpse as to what will happen, as to the benefit that is imbibed in that Feed the World token. So, if I were you, just about a 10,000 naira or even just 5,000 naira, put it there and then forget it. If you can't afford to go higher from 100 or even $1,000 so today, just even though it's 10,000, even though it's 20,000, even though it's 50, just put it there and forget. In case you don't know how this space works, just contact me or someone else that can just buy it and secure it, keep your seed in Phantom Wallets. You can just write it and then log it out, throw it away, but keep the seed phrase secured. In 1 to 3 years to come or thereabout, you start seeing that little investment that you made today with little to nothing, because by then we have come little to nothing, because you'll not be comparing what you spend, maybe about 100,000 naira, and then you're seeing it, you are in millions. Can you still remember that you just spent about 100,000 to do it? So let's not keep repeating the same mistake, because yesterday is gone. Yesterday is gone. And tomorrow is pregnant. Let us appreciate what we have today. Thank you so much.